Welcome everyone to our Codex Genestealer Cult top unit tier list.
Tippity top 10.
Tippity top 10. Welcome everyone. I hope you are just as excited as I am for this new Genestealer Cult Codex. I am mega hyped. It's a super fun book. It's full of flavor, and they have done some upgrading, some changing. That which was once D3 is now 2. As it should be. As it should have always been. Welcome everyone. We're here for our Genestealer Cult tier list.
That's right.
I'm John. This is Jack.
You know us.
You probably know us.
Yeah.
You hopefully love us. Hopefully you love us. We're excited for this one. So Genestealer Cult just got their book about a week ago. They're already making a splash, getting a lot of attention, a lot of people talking about them.
That's right.
I'm really excited about them. Genestealer Cult's one of my favorite armies, so I'm very excited that we're getting them on the table. And, of course, very excited to get painting some Genestealer Cult.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
It is.
Is that a paint stream in your future?
Perhaps in some various Hangout and Hobby streams, you will get to see them soon.
They're a very cool army, too, because they're hard to figure out. Like, it's going to take a while before, like, a really just
exactly. It feels like a very deep book that doesn't have, like, an immediate, obvious, here's 5 Dread Knights kind of build to it. Which, you know what, I'm happy about. You know, I want Genestealer Cult to be a long-lived codex that is, you know, competitively viable through multiple mission packs, multiple points updates, right? Because, you know, if the Dread Knights go up in points, Grey Knights is kind of done. I want Genestealer Cult to be, like, long-lived and have a lot of spice, because they're one of my favorite armies to play. So I'm really excited about that. But today we're going to rank the top 10 data sheets in the Codex.
All right.
Are you ready to start?
Starting with number 10.
Starting with number 10. I put in the Goliath Rock Grinder. This is the heavy support version of the Goliath. It got quite a facelift. Its weapon stats got better. Its combat stats got better. It became T7 with a 3-up save. And it gained -1 damage.
Oh, just that, huh?
Just
as
pretty
you
good.
do.
It's pretty good. So
it is pretty good, yeah.
It's a heavy support choice with a transport capacity of 6. It's kind of like a Genestealer Cult Razorback that has saw blade strapped at the front.
Right, because it has a gun up there, and, like, yeah, sure, it shoots. It doesn't not shoot. But it really wants to just start running up there and grinding some rocks.
Exactly. It just wants to get up there and grind some rocks. And
I mean, and who doesn't? It knows what it's about. I just wish I knew. You know, as much about my life as the rock grinder knows what it is.
It knows what it's about. No, I love it. You can take the cache of demo charges, and then you can take a gun on top. I like the seismic cannon, but you can also take the heavy mining laser or the clearance incinerator.
The seismic cannon's been pretty good recently.
The seismic cannon's been pretty good. That's the one that I think got the most significant stat change, because it's now 3 shots at 833, which, since it can receive crossfire, that can take you some places.
+1 to hit, +1 to wound.
Yep,
just solid.
potentially even ignoring cover. Like, that's going to take that gun and make it real good. Or you can do the spread shot, which is 6 shots at 622. So strength 6, AP 2, damage 2. Just a very solid profile. And then you've got your demo charges. You've got some guys inside ready to jump out. And then in combat, it's 8 attacks on the charge.
Yep.
That are strength 8, AP 2, damage 2. It hits on 3s. Like, what else could I ask for, right? Like, that is just a solid...
How many attacks?
8. It's like, actually, it's just an all-around good at everything.
How many points is this thing?
It's like 115.
That's very reasonable.
It's actually quite reasonably costed. Like, I 100% like want to put a couple of these on the table. Even with -1 damage, they can be a little fragile. But maybe that's just because whenever I put them on the table, the heat lances say no.
Salvo launchers, dark lances. If you find a Cognis las cannon, run. But -1 damage that is not tied to the strength of the incoming weapon. This is not ramshackle. No, even though, you know, Genestealer Cult vehicles thematically,
they're not ramshackle. They're well maintained. The cult is not sloppy. They are precise.
Yeah, but they
value
have
cleanliness.
They are the working man's army, all right? And sometimes you don't have, in a working man's life, you don't have time to keep your tools pristine and clean. You got to use them as you find
they don't keep them shiny, but they keep them working.
That's true.
They keep them working.
That's true.
Like, right?
Both of us know manual labor.
Indeed. All right. So I like the Rock Grinder a lot. Just very solid vehicle. I honestly think that the Genestealer Cult Codex has a lot of pretty good data sheets. So the fact that I like the Goliath this much and it's number 10.
Yeah, it's just a good vehicle. 115 for that. A lot of armies would pay for that. 100%.
All right. Sneaking on down the list. Dun.
Right.
We are meeting our first character on the list.
Our first character.
Got a claw.
The Primus is just he's just a good buff character with decent combat stats. Simple as that. They did work over the weekend, +1 to hit with poppers too. Absolutely, Ben. You can take some different, Colts.
Do they hit on 4s or
they hit on 3s?
They hit on 3s, so Pauper Prince
Pauper Prince makes them hit on 2s.
With 8 attacks?
Strength 8, AP 2 damage too?
They will grind.
Yeah, it's 6 normally, it's +2 on the charge.
That's pretty good.
Of course, it goes lower as you degrade, but it's still solid.
Yeah, pretty good.
So you get good.
Well, what is better than that?
Well, apparently a Primus.
Apparently a Primus
is better.
Apparently a Primus. So what does he do, John?
I just like the Primus because he's a very good support character. You're gonna want the full suite of relics and warlord traits. He's a good HQ choice that can take that.
With the hand of the aberrants,
perhaps,
or hand of aberrants.
The main thing is that he's a captain who also kind of gives out a lieutenant or ability. So he gives out a 6-inch or reroll 1s to hit for all your core units, but he also can pick a unit within 9 inches and give it reroll 1s to wound. So for the price of a captain, you just kind of get a cheap. He's like a cheaper captain with some weapons built in, and he also tosses out a lieutenant. He's just a good support piece.
That's really good.
Yeah.
And they said Trajan was too good at 170. How many points is this guy for both auras?
He's 80. It's not an aura. One of them's an aura. One of them's a target. But then you can do a pregame upgrade where once a game he does it twice instead of once, and it affects any unit instead of core. So you can put it on Pure Strains, Aberrants. You can put it on the Goliath Rock Grinder.
And with maybe something that's later on our list, you can put it on something that's outside of 9 as well, right?
Yes, you can. You can if you use a Nexus, for example. He's. Will the Nexus be on the list?
We'll see.
We'll see. I don't know.
I didn't make the list, but
indeed,
I'm assuming.
Jack doesn't know it's on here. Space Marines and other Imperial armies should ditch their nonsense and grab those things. Exactly, right? This is so much better than a Rhino.
And thematically, Imperium armies do have access to them.
Exactly. The Goliath Rock Grinder is a commonly found STC mining vehicle. All they did was take the seismic cannon and they just kind of tweaked it.
They just cranked
there's
it.
A little trigger guard and they're we're not going to need this.
No.
The power cells can only go so high. Let's just remove that wire and now it just overcharges.
Right. Where they bolted on top,
just a little Black & Decker nail gun on top. What's really going on here?
Yeah, exactly.
Somehow better than guard tanks. Fantastic.
They should just go and grab the mining vehicles instead.
Honestly, right? The PDF should be doing better than that. Even if the Rock Rider degrades, its weapon skill stays at 3.
That's so good.
It does lose attacks as it degrades, but it's still good.
It still hits on 2s and Pauper Princes, 3s out of Pauper Princes.
That's moving on from the Primus. Primus, who also
he's
have to mention,
solid buff
can
boy.
Take a really good combat relic. He has exclusive access to the Hand of Aberrants, which theoretically is a good combat weapon. It's 5 attacks that hit on 2s, poison 2+, AP 2, flat 3 damage. Those are just good.
Yeah, you would think that would do a lot of damage.
Yep, I did roll 5 1s into Jack, is why he's making a face at me. But you know what? If you roll 5 1s, it's your own fault.
It was John's fault.
It was
He's
my
owning
fault.
It right now.
It was my fault. I should have had more faith in the 4-armed Emperor to roll 2s. Instead, I rolled 1s.
That's right. I didn't even transhume it because I was what's the worst that's going to
happen?
What's the worst
that's going to happen? Just 2s. Just 1s.
Just 1s.
All right, so moving on. Dun, dun, dun. We're moving on to another HQ choice. This is the Patriarch.
The Patriarch.
So the Patriarch is kind of an auto-include, where the Patriarch, if he's in your list, has to be your Warlord. Right. And then if your Warlord is a Patriarch, you can buy a lot extra Warlord traits.
So you can get 1 Warlord trait if he's not your
exactly.
Your list.
If there's no Patriarch, you take a Warlord of an HQ choice, and that one gets 1 Warlord trait, and you don't get any others.
Right.
But if you have a Patriarch, you unlock the ability to get more Warlord traits for only 1 CP to get 2 extra Warlord traits, which is nice. It's not 1 for 1. It's 1 CP gets you 2.
How many points is he?
He's 140. He's not as much of a buff piece as he used to be. Okay. He now just gives an aura of ignore combat attrition. Meh.
That's much worse. But leadership doesn't matter as much as it did last
Exactly.
edition.
He also got a facelift stats wise.
Yep.
He's flat damage 2 instead of D3, which I just love. Strength 5, 6 attacks, rerolls wounds, high AP. He gained a wound. He gained a 4-up invul.
That's pretty good.
He's
7 wounds now.
He's 7 wounds.
He's a lot harder to kill.
He used to be 6 wounds with a 5-up invul. Now he's 7 wounds with a 4-up invul. Much better. He gained 5 points for that. Okay. And he's a very good caster support because he knows 2 spells, casts 2 spells.
Yeah, it's he kind of just replaces the Magos at that point.
Yep. He does everything cast-wise that a Magus does for only 60 points more, which you get a much better defensive and offensive package. If you just want a caster, you know what? Magus is good. The second you're like, you know what I would like? I would like to do something else. Patriarch's around.
Yeah.
And he's fast. He moves 80. He can advance in charge.
in charges. You can advance him
easy.
6 automatically.
One
so he
CP
goes 14, and now he's all gribbling all over your opponent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a very good character to have floating around. He can take out like mid-sized units, like 5 intercessors. He's perfect for going and ripping them apart.
Yep.
Just
if he's less good into a shield captain, but you know.
Well, it's a whole different thing.
That's a whole different thing. But he's also really hard to pick out of a unit of infantry because of the what's it called?
I think it's Undying Loyalty.
Undying Loyalty.
Loyalty.
If you charge in and you throw your attacks on the Patriarch, you're not going to do any damage because the wounds are going to get absorbed by the unit that's near him.
Sure.
If you throw your attacks on the unit that's near him, Patriarch is not going to get hit, and he's going to punch you. So either way, if a Patriarch's in the middle of a ball of infantry, you're taking the Patriarch to the face.
Exactly. The Patriarch he's quite scary.
Yeah, very scary.
All right.
But what could be better than that?
I am moving on to the core data sheets here.
All right,
all 4 of them. We're going to start off with Neophytes.
Neophytes, little shitty boys.
So Neophytes are the cheapest cult body.
6
Their
points.
core, they're 6 points a model. Think of a guardsman that deep strikes with crossfire for like half a point more than a guardsman. Literally half a point.
Oh, because it's 55.
It's 55 for 10 guardsmen. It's 60 for 10 Neophytes.
That's such
You pay 5 points on a tenor, and they get deep strike crossfire. Sure.
That's pretty good. And they also get access to better weapons.
You do get much better weapons.
Yes.
So really the strength of Neophytes is that I think they're very good in a pure cult list at taking advantage of crossfire. Because they're the only core unit that, like, of the several core units, some of them pack hand flamers, +1 to hit's not that relevant when you have hand flamers.
Right.
+1 wounds nice. But really it's...
But guard don't get access to hand flamers.
Guard don't get access to hand flamers. But Neophytes though.
Neophytes.
You can take a 20 man, and they can take 4 special weapons in a 20 or 2 in a 10. And they can take 4 heavy weapons in a 20 or 2 in a 10. So in a 10-man like guard squad, you get like 1 heavy weapon squad and like a flamer. This is a 10-man, you get 2 heavy weapons, 2 special weapons.
Yep.
And they just take really good advantage of crossfire. What I found so far has been that the seismic cannons have, again, getting a facelift and some really good stratagem support has made Neophytes actually capable of putting out a lot of shooting output.
Is the +1 damage strat, is that just seismic cannons?
It's just for industrial weapons.
Industrial weapons.
So it's not going to be for their shotguns / auto
so you
guns.
could do it on, how good are mining lasers on these guys? They're still 24?
It's 24. It's a 24-inch las cannon. So you could have a 20-man pack 4 las cannons that get +1 hit, +1 wound, and +1 damage.
They're D6 damage?
They're D6.
Okay, D6 +1 is still pretty good.
Still pretty good. I personally have found that I like the volume of the seismic cannons because you don't have that many rerolls. Again, when you've got a Primus, you can reroll 1s. But every time I shoot a mining laser with a Primus, I just know that I'm rolling 2s.
You know you're
right?
rolling
2s. How did I roll 3 2s? It's a talent.
It's happened. He's known for rolling them 2s.
I like my 2s. Not much, but I keep rolling them.
Listen, I used to play Zinch, and the last thing you wanted to roll in Zinch was a 2.
Never forgive these Chaos players. But really, I just like that it's a very cheap body when you need it to be a cheap body, and you can pack really good special weapons shooting it, and it's hard to get good shooting support in Genestealer Cult. There's only so many units that actually provide firepower. This one I think benefits the most from crossfire and is core, and that's a big deal. So Neophytes make the top 10.
Absolutely, they get buffs and they're cheap and efficient, and even just a 10-man squad is just they're minimum 10, right? They're minimum 10?
Yeah, the min 10. It's 10 to 20.
Even just a 10-man squad just running around the board is like 60 points for a 10-man unit. I have to put real resources into that. I don't want to do
exactly.
Any of
and
that.
You've got the opportunity to heal models with some in the cult.
Right, you can get up to 6 back a turn.
Up to 6 back a turn. So you can have a lot of bullet catchers in front of the important guys, and they've got to clear the whole thing out in one go.
And it's not even that hard to kill because it's not that easy to kill. Because you can give it buffs like 5-up invuln,
Baby
mini transhuman, things like that. What you can do is you can just keep most of the unit behind cover and poke out just the heavy and special weapons.
Yep.
So when your opponent shoots you, you pick up all the heavy and special weapons, and you're good. And then they can't shoot you anymore, so they probably only pick up that many unless they put a serious investment into you. And they're probably not wiping the squad with 20 models.
Nope.
And then what happens is on your turn, you grow 6 of the heavy weapons back and shoot them again.
Yeah, it's like clockwork, right? Yeah. All right, moving on here. We have number 6, the Goliath Truck.
The Goliath Truck. So not a rock grinder.
Not a rock grinder.
A truck.
It's a truck.
Defensively, same deal. -1 damage.
It's T6.
T6 instead of 7.
T6 instead of 7.
So for a dozer shield.
Yep. And just like open top and back. But You compare this to some comparable transports, and it's just money. I have it higher than the Rock Grinder mainly because of the transport capacity. The Rock Grinder is useful in more ways than being a transport, but a Goliath Truck is cheap, and I like having 10-man squads.
You can also shoot out of it, right?
You can also shoot out of it.
You did finally dome my my shield captain with
dropping a demo charge.
Dropping a demo charge out of the vehicle. And what guns can you put on it? So it has a demo charge, right? Cash, so it can fire every turn.
Which you have to buy it, but I'm going to be honest, for 5 points, it is amazing value, and I think every Goliath should have a demo charge.
Please stun me. How many points is this beauty?
It's 90. So 90 points. It's T6, 3-up armor, 10 wounds, -1 damage.
Yep, solid.
Comes with a twin autocannon and a heavy summer. And then for 5 points to 95, it gets the cash demo charges, holds 10 guys, and they can shoot out of it. Like, you compare this to a Raider, and the Raider was considered to be one of the best transports in the game. This moves 12, not 14.
Right.
And it doesn't fly.
And it doesn't have a rerolling to hit
Dark Lance. But a twin autocannon's not bad.
No, it's 4 autocannon shots. It's pretty good. And when it gets close, it just like drops demo charges on you.
Demo charges. It's open top the same way. You have good shooting units you can put inside this thing. And just -1 damage on a sub 100 point transport is just good.
Yeah. Can the whole unit shoot out?
Yeah, whole unit.
So you can take a 10-man squad with 2 seismic cannons, 2 grenade launchers.
Or you could take a 10-man squad with 10 hand flamers. Just drive up on people. Just be like,
what?
Yeah. Welcome to the flame zone.
All right. I am going to try and... I used to play GSC. John does not believe me. He doesn't.
That's true.
It's true. But I did. And I also love good mech armies. I'm going to try and make this work.
I will tell you, we've got 3 Goliaths in the house. I actually have 2 more on the way from Warpfire. So I like both of the Goliath trucks here. I think both of them have real play. I would love to see them more on the table. Yeah. I'm excited for this.
Absolutely. If mech GSC works, it'd be friggin' dope.
It'd be awesome. Just Mad Max all over people.
Yeah. It'd be awesome.
What I want to do.
Have the guitar guy. You know the guitar guy.
I know the guitar guy. So, yeah, I really just like this as a solid dedicated transport. The big thing is that a lot of units that are coming up want to be in larger than 6-man squads.
True.
And that's where I want to get them safely into combat. And I think that part of Genestealer Cult's identity is going away from deep striking and charging you. And some guys can run across the table and charge you, but some of them want to be in a truck. Some of them want to be in a transport. They want that little layer of protection, the 3 inches of a disembark move. There's just a ton of value for being in a transport with your combat units these days. And I think that the Goliath provides real, actual value there.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it.
All right.
Definitely a tool the army needed, and it's a tool they got.
Yes. The -1 damage. Chef kiss.
I mean, yes.
What else could I ask for, right? Is there any way to get into -1 to hit or an invuln on them? Dense cover is the only way to get a -1 to hit, but if you are a bladed cog, you can get a 6-up invuln. Because they have a 3-up armor, a 6-up invuln is like nice, but doesn't come up that often.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't even come up that often in Sisters when you can miracle die, or when you used to be able to miracle die a 6. I don't believe you can anymore, right? Because they don't have Acts of Faith.
Oh, on the Rhino?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
You can?
Acts of Faith. Yeah.
Oh, they do. Okay.
They still do.
Sweet. But it doesn't come up that often, and you can auto pass it sometimes. And I think just going Blade Cog for 6-up invuln here.
Yeah, but there's other reasons to go Bladed Cog.
True.
So it's a nice side bonus. The other part of it is that if you're Formed Emperor, you can give it light cover. So that just gets it to a 2-up save.
That's good.
Or if you're
Bladed Cover?
No, just light cover. That's Bladed Cog straight. So just the whole thing gets split. It's light cover.
It's Formed Emperor trait?
Yeah, if you're 12 inches away.
And Formed Emperor is the one that just gets scads of CP.
Yeah, like CP out the butt and reroll charges everywhere. Like just do whatever you want kind of thing. The Formed Emperor could be the way forward. I'm
gonna hop on Battlescribe after this.
There we go. Exactly. Get that nice 2-up. You can even with Bladed Cog, if you pass a spell, you can get +1 save against damage 1 weapons, which because you're -1 damage means damage 1 or 2. Damage 1 or 2, so you have a 2-up against damage 1 or 2 weapons.
Oh, Battlescribe's coming open after this stream.
Yeah, there's some fun things in Genestealer.
This is dope. All right. Well, what else can we put in it, John?
We're selling them. What can you put inside a Goliath truck, you ask? Well, you can put 10 of anything you want, including our number 5 choice. Acolyte. Just Acolyte hybrids. They're the solid troop choice. They got upgraded weapons. They got upgraded stats. They got toughness 4. They went up 1 point in exchange for better combat stats, +1 toughness, and then the purchasable weapons that they got better. So, Acolytes, it's a good combat unit. One of the amazing things about the book is that they kept their 1 CP strat to advance and charge, which is phenomenal. It's just
Just one of those things you really want to have, right? You like advancing and charging, right? What? You're thinking about it? You're going to do it?
No, I'm just mad that you're making fun of my Black Templars not having advance and charge.
I was not even talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you mentioned it, yes, I am.
Yeah, yeah, you just didn't know. You just didn't.
Yeah. It's
just weren't thinking about it, yeah.
Real good value on Acolytes. I love having OBSEC combat units that are cheap because, it's kind of like the Dark Eldar style, right? Where they were always throwing like witch squads and Cabalites and racks onto your objectives. You were never scoring points and they were killing it at the same time. Acolytes can do the same thing. Their toughness 4.
How many points are these guys?
So they're 9 points a model.
So 45 for unit 5?
Yeah. And that's pretty good. And they're 3 attacks each at strength 4 AP 2. In Twisted Helix, they move 7. Same speed as like a rack.
And they're
T4,
5.
same as a rack. 5 up save versus a 6 up invuln. They're strength 5, 3 attacks, AP 2.
And you have a way if you're in
much
cover.
Better in combat.
If you're in cover, you have a 1 CP
plus 1 save, so you get to a 3 up in cover.
That's pretty good.
Like,
pretty cool.
Solid. And you can grow D6 models back in your command phase. Like, Acolytes have a lot going for them.
Isn't it D3 for them?
Sorry, it is D3 for them. My apologies.
Right.
D6 for Neophytes, D3 for Acolytes. True, Battlescribe does not have the 9th edition Genestealer Cult Codex rules up yet. Unfortunate. Hopefully they'll be up there soon.
Sadness. Custodes is up there. Genestealer Cult must be a little more complicated.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah, you only have like 3 rules, and all of them are just turn off your opponent's rules.
Oh, your opponents... I think I sent a meme to somebody that was just when your opponent tries to use a strat on you or tries to use rules on you, as custodians are just like, we don't do that here.
But yeah, I love Acolytes. All 3, so 2 of their 3 weapons, like the rock saw, cutter, and drill, got better. So the rock saw used to be the best weapon.
Right.
And it didn't change at all. It's still 10 points. It's still the same stats.
It's what? Strength
times 2, AP 4, flat 2 damage.
So strength 9 in
Twisted Helix, yeah.
In Twisted Helix. That matters against like toughness 8 targets like knights and stuff.
But that used to be, I would consider, the best of the 3 rock weapons.
Pretty
now,
clearly the best,
I think it's the worst. And it didn't change at all. And that's good for the other 2.
Yeah. Drills are dope.
Rock drills are great. They're only damage 1, but they're AP 4. They do not roll the wound. They just wound. If you get a hit, you cause the wound. And if you roll a 6 to hit, bing, 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 2 mortals.
Instead or in addition?
In addition. Why
would
it be instead?
Yeah, I mean, what are we talking about here?
The attack sequence doesn't stop here. There's a Genestealer Cult Battlestar file in the Genestealer Cult Discord. Okay, good to know for anyone who's excited to write Genestealer Cult lists, especially today.
I also imagine that it's going to be out for general release pretty soon.
It's got to be out soon, yeah. And the Rock Cutter is just flat 3 damage.
Flat 3.
Strength
sounds
8,
nice.
AP 4, flat 3.
Flat 3 damage.
It's nice to have.
Yeah.
So like Acolytes, I think they're absolute winners.
Yeah, they're great. They're
just as a core data sheet, it almost feels like it's on the question line of is this spammable or not?
I think it is. 9 points a model, 45 points for 5-man unit.
There's still a 5 up armor save, so they will die because they don't usually have an invuln. But like, you start doing pauper prints to get a 5 up invuln, and now you're looking at this like, man, this is.
I need to overcommit because I can't just be like, oh, I'm AP2, die. Like,
exactly.
What if they spike a little bit and I have the 2 guys with rock cutters running around the battlefield like,
yeah, and you'll grow them back. Like we'll get through it.
Oh yeah, you'll go back to a 5-man.
Yeah, and they can go up to a 15-man, but I like the 10s for transport purposes.
10's good. Yeah, you get out of a transport, you'll kill something.
Indeed.
But there's 4 more units.
There are 4 more
that we consider to be better
than
this one.
If you bought an Acolyte box, you can build Acolytes.
Or
you can build Metamorph hybrids.
Metamorph hybrids, you saw them not at all in the last book.
Indeed. They were, some people didn't know they exist. I actually had a fun challenge where I called out a playtester to see if they could like name 5 units in the Genestealer Cult Codex, the old one, that like got cult traits, and they couldn't because they forgot Metamorphs existed. And you know what? I'm pretty sure whoever wrote the codex forgot they existed too. So
yeah, they didn't do anything, but they do a lot of things right now.
They do now. Don't worry, it changed. They're fantastic. A Metamorph is just like an Acolyte, but better.
What's the worst part? If somebody charges your units and they're fragile, what happens?
The worst part about being a combat army is getting charged.
Yeah, it sucks. You die, you don't get to do anything.
Yeah, and then you don't get hit back. Like what?
And you don't.
And plus, it's a little bit shameful when you're a combat army that gets killed in combat.
You don't like that. You gotta let them know.
You gotta let them know. Metamorphs, one of the things they gained is that they fight on death. So if your unit hasn't fought and it dies in the fight phase, don't even worry. Go ahead and swing them anyways.
Yep.
Just easy as that. Don't even sweat.
It's really good because you go and hit them because you move fast. You hit them. When they hit you back, you hit them again.
Yeah. So you can't do it if you've already fought.
Right.
But this is just to guarantee that your nasty Acolyte unit is going to connect with someone.
It saves you CP on the interrupt. It means you can interrupt somewhere else if there's big multi-combat.
It means you don't care as much if your opponent interrupts.
How many points are there?
They're 12 points a model.
That's
so you take an Acolyte for 3 points more. You lose Obsec. You're an elite choice now. But you gain Fight on Death. Pretty big. You gain +1 strength. So you go to strength 5 base. And then you gain +1 AP.
Oh, they're AP3.
They're AP3.
Oh.
So they're a base Acolyte. It's still or base high Metamorph. Still 3 attacks each. Just gets strength 5 AP3.
That seems pretty good.
Yeah. And you fight on death. Simple as that. 3 points, 1 each for fight on death, +1 strength, and AP3. Done.
You take 30 of these, and any
other combat armies
my blood angels would just not appreciate that.
That would hurt.
It would hurt. I have to shoot them to death. I don't want to do that.
You don't have guns.
Well, you know, I mean,
you don't know.
I mean, like,
we know you don't have guns.
I mean,
between you and me.
Well, that's between you and me and the wall. Like, yeah.
We know you don't have guns.
It hurts when you say it like that.
Yeah. But Metamorphs have some great buffs. Of course, you can buy them all the different ambush upgrades, like the prepared planning rules. So you can try to get them to 4 attacks. You can get them good charges out of reserves. If you're Twisted Helix, you can get them up to strength 6 in combat, which is a great break point.
It is a really good
for
break point.
Killing toughness 5 racks specifically.
Anything that's really tough, like toughness 5 racks or the Death Guard Terminators, various varieties.
Just a ton of volume at AP3, and that cuts through people. If I could get a Metamorph unit to introduce themselves to like some Rangers, gone. Whole squad. Just get them out of here. Exactly. That is what
you can turn off Overwatch, right? All you need is, I mean, it's a little hard, but you need a crossfire token.
If I have a crossfire token.
I mean, you have to have a crossfire token.
Losing OBSEC is a big deal, but I think the Metamorph stat buff is enough to justify it. Frankly, I think you can just easily justify taking both Acolytes and Metamorphs in the list.
Yeah, 100%.
Easy to get both.
Different roles, especially if you want to run 5-man Acolyte squads and 10-man Metamorph squads. Like, you can have your heavy hitters and your Retrieve Octarius data getters.
Yep. A little bit of everything.
Yep.
All right. Well, there's 3 spots left.
But what is even doper than that?
One of them is a character. Some would say, such as Jack, that it is their favorite character. Jack is making finger guns. He is very excited about number 3. Dun, dun, dun.
I used to love running this guy. 2 or 3 of this in every list that I ran. He was so cool. You had Magic Pistol Man. It's just all right. Okay. This guy was so dope. I loved him so much.
Yep.
I have a video of Nick because Nick used to say that multiple Kelomorphs was bad, and he came around. Don't worry. But when he came around, I have a video of him sadly admitting that maybe he wants more than one.
Good. The Kelomorph is a boss.
He is so cool.
So the Kelomorph used to be a little undercosted in the old book, and then they raised his points up to 80, and they kept him at 80 points, but unfortunately he kind of stopped seeing play when he got his points raised. However, he's worth it. They gave him a facelift from heaven. He was good before. He is great now. So a Kelomorph is a character who just shoots pistols at you.
Oh, that's it?
Which, you know what? They made good relic pistols, people. Don't even worry about it.
It's not a relic
pistol. Not a relic pistol.
It's not making the top 10 relic pistols list. It's not a relic pistol.
Pretty good.
It's ammo specifically, and it makes it not pistol anymore. So,
let's talk about him before we talk about the relics.
Okay.
Just the Kelomorph. So he used to be a pistol character that could target characters at 12-inch range. He has gone from 12-inch range, strength 4, AP 1, damage 2, to with 6 shots, to 18-inch range, strength 5, AP 1, damage 1.
Right.
But this boy does mortal wounds on 6s, and every time he rolls a successful hit roll, you then immediately make another hit roll.
Easy.
Just like that.
Just as you do.
And he's +6 kill 2. It's a pistol. He's going to be hitting on 2s. He gets crossfire.
You get extra shots.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least they're just weak shots, right? Like, imagine if they were anti-tank shots and they could kill things. Mm-hmm. Like, that would be crazy, right? Like, they would never do that. All right, talk about the relic ammo.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So, what is it called? It's Wormtooth rounds?
Wormtooth rounds.
Wormtooth rounds makes his pistols go from pistol 2 to heavy 1, but he still has 3 of them, so it's still 3 shots. Strength 6, AP 3, damage 3. So now he rolls 3 shots that hit on 2s, but it's a heavy weapon, so he may hit on 3s unless you can ignore that or have +1 to hit through, I don't know, crossfire.
But then once you do that,
Right.
again, you maybe get 3 hits. You're hitting on 2. It's not too hard. You just make 3 more hit rolls again. And now it's 6 hits at strength 6, AP 3, damage 3. Just blowing people up. Like, that is...
And it's not
good.
like you don't lose your other gun, right?
Mm-hmm. No, you can still fire both profiles now.
So you just have either ammo. It's like whatever you're looking at. If you're looking at an infantry unit or a character, pew, 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 pew. And if you're looking at a vehicle, it's
yeah. Ton of synergy here. Yeah, if he's bladed cog, he gets 21-inch range and can reroll the wound roll. Yeah, he's solid.
And you
he's
can take
solid.
multiples.
You can
But
take multiples.
He also moves after he shoots.
I was saving that.
It's so cool.
I was saving his rules
so
still.
Here's the thing about the Kelomorph, at least when I played him back in the last book.
Yep.
If he came in and shot once and died, he was not that great.
Yeah,
if you kept him alive for more than one turn and he got to shoot over and over again, he was like one of the best characters in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, John, did that get easier?
It did.
It did.
So after the Kelomorph shoots,
Right.
he makes a normal move. However, he often deep strikes because he's a Genestealer character with short range gun. Okay. So normally when you deep strike, you can't make a normal move after. You know, after like we had like Quick and Inari spears that were deep striking and charging.
I mean, that was gross.
It was
obviously.
gross. Obviously, they need to go away. But the Kelomorph got an exception. Even if he arrived from reserves, your boy don't stop moving. He can also fall back after he does it because he has pistols. So he can shoot into combat and then fall back after he's blown away, like the people touching him. Like, just the value on a Kelomorph.
He is actually never stationary, you know?
This guy just doesn't stop.
He doesn't stop.
He can move 6 or 7 twisted helix. He can shoot and he can move again. He can charge after he does this, by the way. So he can deep strike 8 inches away. Pew, 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 and then move 6 inches and just have like a 2-inch charge.
Does he have a Colt knife?
He's not particularly good in combat. You cannot give him a relic to make him good in combat.
That was my follow-up question.
I know where you're going with that.
But here's my question for this guy, right?
Yep.
Top 10 relic pistols. Should it include his pistols? Because they're not pistol. It's not his relic is not a pistol. It A is ammo for his existing pistols, which are not relics, and B is the heavy type, but it's also fired out of a pistol. And so, you know who I think gets to answer this question? It's not you or me.
No.
It's not most of the people here. It's one person who is committed to the art, the science, the sweet science of relic pistols. And that would be John Chaves, the guy who comments top 10 relic pistols when on every single video that we make.
All right.
And I want him to weigh in the comments and say whether this counts as a relic pistol.
Yep. So the problem is that the Wormtooth rounds are an alternate ammunition for your Liberator auto stubs.
Right.
Which doesn't say pistol in the name. It's just an auto stub.
It's a Liberator auto stub.
It does look suspiciously like a pistol.
It looks like a pistol and it has pistol type.
It does have pistol too.
But the ammo is heavy. It's not pistol. It's heavy. And it's just ammunition.
It's just ammunition.
It's just ammunition.
Is this a relic
It doesn't
pistol?
replace a pistol either. Like you would say with most relic pistols, replaces a bolt pistol.
No.
This does not do it.
You're just equipped with it.
You're just equipped with it. And it's a heavy type. So, like, he could just be throwing them at the person. Like, he could just be chucking them.
Maybe he's throwing bullets.
He's just literally just...
Right? Have you ever thrown a bullet, at someone? Just like casually?
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah, we all do that, right?
Justifies a great show.
Absolutely. No, he cannot overwatch and then leave. He cannot overwatch and then do it. It's when he shoots in the shooting phase.
Okay,
Yeah. But like that would just be stupid.
That would be very dumb. Yes.
That'd be very dumb. But that's okay. We didn't need that, and I'm happy we don't have it because it's still really good.
It's still really,
there is
really
one
good.
other rule we didn't mention. Just if you just want solid rules, right? You just like solid good rules. So if he kills a model with these pistols, this a model, he turns into a 6-inch aura of real ones to hit. He's just good.
So they did change it from before.
Yeah.
What would happen was you would roll shots one at a time, because technically every shot is supposed to be hit, roll, wound, roll, save, kill. And it's supposed to do one die, and then one die, and then one die. Technically, nobody does it that way.
Please no.
Please God, no.
Please don't.
It never matters, except it used to matter, because you would roll one shot, see if it hits, see if it wounds, see if it kills the guy, and then the rest of his shots would then reroll ones because it was immediate.
Yeah.
They changed that. Thank God. That was a nightmare.
It also only works on core, so he's not getting it anyway.
He's not getting it anyway.
But that's totally fine. He's doing all right without it.
Right. He is a lad.
Kelomorph's fantastic. Like, best character in the Codex. Love him. Great support piece. Any army would love to have a Kelomorph.
That's right.
All right. There are, however, 2 more data sheets that I want to talk about. Oh, yes. He dirty.
He dirty.
He dirty. All right. Moving on up. Bum, bum, bum. This one is like one of my favorites. It's the Wolf Quad. Bum, 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 bum.
Adelan Jackals.
Adelan Jackals, which includes the bikes and the Wolf Quad, but we're talking about the Wolf Quad here. These things are great. Like, this is just value town.
Yeah.
Like, this is a cheap data sheet loaded with special rules that makes it a good utility piece.
And outside of the memes of Wolf Quad meta or whatever, really it's the bikes.
It's actually the bikes, yeah.
It's the bikes. It's the
I'm
actual
not even
Jackals
taking
themselves.
the Wolf Quads in my list. It's just the bikes.
Wolf Quads are really
I
expensive.
tried, people. I really did.
No, just the bikes. But they are efficient.
They are efficient. So let me break down what a bike is. Just like at a base profile, what is the bike? So the bike is the same cost as 2 neophytes. You slap 2 neophytes together on an oval base, you now have a 2 neophyte. But it's 2 attacks for some reason. It's cool. But it's on a bike, so toughness 4 instead of toughness 3. Makes sense so far.
Yeah.
Has a 4 up armor save.
Right, you thought it was a 5-up for a
I
while.
did. I played it as a 5-up because
Yeah.
it was a neophyte on a bike. I assumed it was the same, but it's a 4-up save.
Yeah.
Okay. It's -1 to hit. Not just in shooting, also in combat. Shooting and combat, -1 to hit. So again, this is just 2 neophytes, and when you buy their powers combined, they get +1 toughness, +1 save, -1 to hit. Okay.
Okay.
They move 14, which is faster than 2 neophytes strapped together.
Yeah,
pretty impressive.
Neophytes doing a relay race would be 12.
It would be 12, exactly. John knew all along. They're just super solid. They get a scout move. Right?
Right,
Just a
9
9-inch scout move, forward, backwards, whatever.
That's really good.
It's really good.
You go first, they go 9 inches forward, and then they sprint up board
Then they
and
go
block people.
14 and more inches forward. Solid.
They advance 6
I was getting to that. 1 CP, they auto advance 6. If
Okay.
you shoot with them, they can fire and fade. So if you want to move block someone turn 1, something that I do want to do, I can, theoretically, just move 9 inches, then 14,
So 23.
then 6,
So 29.
then fire and fade.
How far?
36.
So did they just move again?
No. The 36 is a fire and fade. But that's 36 inches on turn 1. They can just move.
That's a move block.
That's
right
a move block.
That's a move
It's a
block.
great move block. Or I can do all of that except the fire and fade, and if I cast a spell on them, maybe they'll charge.
Yeah.
Just like go like find like a
They
little.
can take power weapons that aren't back.
Yeah, they can like take power weapons. They're 2 attacks each. Their power weapons are industrial weapons, so 1 CP +1 strength, 1 CP real wounds against vehicles and monsters. Like they're pretty good.
And they get the bonuses from like all of the detachment
Yeah.
rules. So you
They're-
can
they're
get
core.
Pauper Princess, they get +1 to hit.
Yep.
How do you give them plus? Oh, you got Might from Beyond, they get +1 attack.
Yeah.
And suddenly they're running in these bikes that are like, yeah, don't worry about them. They're just skirmish units.
Exactly. 15 inches move if they're twisted helix because you put drugs on the bike.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
instead of gas, the 41st Millennium's real dark, people. The chemicals, real strong.
Really strong.
Real strong.
You put them in the bike, they make your bike go.
Yeah.
You put them in your aberrants, they make the aberrants
Aberrants
go.
So I already mentioned that they can fall back, shoot, and charge for free.
And they're also
so
core,
many-
so you can get them
And
back.
they're core, so you can regrow them if you have an icon ward. So that's the value of the wolf quads, is that the models just come back at full health. So if you kill the wolf quads, well, the wolf quads are going to come back first, right?
Right.
Why not?
Obviously. I don't know why you wouldn't.
Why
Yeah.
wouldn't I bring those back
Yeah.
first?
And then mining lasers, right?
Yeah, you can take mining lasers. You can take clearance incinerators. You can take demo charges. You can take. They all come with like 2 shots each, strength 4. But I'm not actually done listing their special rules. There's just more special rules in this data sheet. They're great. So if I'm within 6 inches of something, I treat it as exposed.
For the rest of your army?
No, just for them.
Okay.
But then for 2 CP,
Right.
I then treat it as exposed for the rest of the army.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So exposed is kind of hard to get because a good opponent's going to like screen out, not let you get behind them, not let you draw any lines. And they'll be like, okay, you have to shoot me like you're a guard army without crossfire. And then you're just shooting like a guard army. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I don't want that.
No,
So
nobody wants that.
You send those bikes up, and then you're like, +1 to wound on you.
What does the Jackal Alphas do?
The Jackal Alphas is the character version. It picks one visible unit within 36 inches, and then it picks a friendly unit within 9, and that unit counts it as exposed.
It's not horrible.
It's not horrible. It's fine. It didn't unfortunately crack the top 10 for the Jackal Alphas.
Yeah.
But the Jackals themselves, money.
Yeah.
Money.
Those things, I mean,
If they-
remember when Battlescribe was coming out after this?
Yeah.
Some of them are going in.
Some of them are going
Some
in.
of them are going in.
They don't do that much damage because you can only take 2 heavy weapons. You can take demo charges, but you can only throw 1 a turn. You know, they don't have incredible AP on their guns. They're not that many attacks in combat. But as a utility piece, they have every special rule you could ever ask an Outrider type unit to have. They scout move, they move extremely fast, they fire and fade, they fall back shoot, they fall back charge, decent shooting, support the rest of the army, decent combat. Not like amazing at any of it. The damage output is where they're lacking, but they're 12 points a model. If they were all of this with a lightning claw, I would literally just run 30.
I did know that they were 12 points a model. I keep forgetting because they are insane.
They're so good.
But they're not better than...
There is one unit that I thought was better. One data sheet in Genestealer Cult
to
that
rule
received
them all!
the biggest facelift. Again,
it went from 0 to hero.
Literal 0 to hero. We're talking about a unit that we genuinely very rarely saw. I actually ran spoiler, a 20-man, which is no longer legal, but it was at the time, in Index Warhammer, Index 8th edition 40k. I really liked this unit. It was actually my favorite unit at the time because they got buffs like a mother. But now, Pure Strain Genestealers are number 1. Number 1.
Boy, did they get better. I always forgot that Pure Strains were in Genestealer Cult because they were
so bad.
Egregiously bad. They sucked so hard. And now
they used to be a normal Genestealer that, for reasons I never understood, cost 3 points more, and didn't get any of like the buffs. They didn't get cult traits. They didn't get like anything. They just had normal Genestealer stats, and they cost more without getting a Swarmlord or traits. And I'm like, why would I pay more for less, right?
Yep.
Garbage.
They didn't even hit harder than the other units that were cheaper than them in the book.
Yep.
That is no longer the case. Yikes.
Yep. Pure Strains. What do they get now? So you look at their old data sheet. You look at their new data sheet. We're just going to ignore the points cost that I assume was a typo GW didn't notice for 3 years. Because they were awful. Like they were literally more points than 2 Acolytes put together.
I don't know why they didn't want
it.
Genestealers to feature in
Genestealer Cult. Yep. So right now they're move 8, 1 CP auto advance 6, but they advance and charge built into the profile, so you don't have to steal buffs from other places. Their strength 4 AP 3, up from AP 1 that was sometimes AP 4. Their weapon skill 2, up from weapon skill 3. Their 4 attacks, up from 3 that was sometimes 4 with a conditional squad size. They gained a 4-up invuln over a 5-up invuln. Like, you just take a unit. So, like, compared to a normal Genestealer, right? Tyranny Genestealer, Pure Strain Genestealer. It's 1 point more for a Pure Strain. Okay.
Right.
Plus 1 attack, plus 1 weapon skill, plus 1 invuln. Strat to auto advance 6. And you get the AP 3 in combat on every model instead of a couple acid mods. Yes. Now, that's before we start talking cult traits.
And they get them now. They didn't used to. For some reason, Genestealers did not get the benefit of the cult traits because apparently now... every cult had identical Genestealers. Just, whatever.
I don't know. Why would the Genestealer be in the cult? This is a cult about Genestealers. Aren't Genestealers
there are no
It's
Again, we don't do that here.
Exactly. We don't do that here.
Yeah.
Okay. But now, if you give them Twisted Helix, which I think is the best one for Pure Strains, and I'm going to go on a limb to say it, best one in the game, they get plus 1 strength, and plus 1 move, and that little baby transhuman. It's so good.
It's the perfect combination of the offensive power they needed to clear they just needed a little bit more.
A little bit over the threshold.
Well, they got it, and they also need to be a little bit faster, and they got it, and they just need to be a little bit tougher, and they got it. Now they're obnoxious in all 3 categories.
Exactly. More Robot Wars content has the perfect response. Genestealers having 3 attacks was infuriating. They have 4 arms.
I never even thought about that. That's so stupid.
They can't have 3 attacks when they have 4 arms, right? Like, punch. Gotta make 4 hit rolls on it.
And they also have a bite attack, and I'm assuming that's the Might from Beyond or whatever. They just get amped up.
But they get real excited about it. So good. It's so good. Pure Strains make me a happy boy. I think Pure Strains are the best data sheet in the Codex. I think Twisted Helix is the best cult because it works the best around Pure Strains.
Yep. It just gives them everything they need.
The one little tiny thing about them is that they do not have core. But they are so good that it's okay.
Yeah, they made the top one anyway.
Even without core, I still put them as number 1, so maybe GW is right. Maybe giving them real ones to hit and wound
would have been too much. Perhaps. Giving them biophages buffs definitely would have been too much. Wish we had done that, but it's okay. But so good. Like, a lot of lists, I think, start with 20 Twisted Helix Pure Strength Genestealers.
Yep.
And I'm going to be honest with you, if you said, I think I want 30, yeah, go do it.
I don't have any problem with that.
No problem.
How many points do they piece?
14 points a model.
14?
14. They're 1 wound, T4, 4 invuln, but like, I think it's worth it. I think you take them. I think I could put 30.
I think you put 30 in the list.
I think I could put 30 in a list, not even blinking. Yeah.
Yeah, that's 420 points, which A, nice. But B, that's so cheap for the massive combat punch.
Yeah,
and they make great use of the whatever those things
they
are
make
called. The
fantastic use of the planning buffs.
planning buffs.
Yep. So it's proficient planning upgrades. So one of them, I think the best, is that the unit makes a normal move before as soon as you reveal a blip. So you put them in a blip. Once it's time to reveal the blip, you can do 2 things. One, you can just put them in reserves. You know what? I thought about it, decided I want to be underground instead.
Right.
Or you deploy them on the table, and then you're like, you know what I want to do? Move. I want to go somewhere. Let's go. So they arrive out of the blip. It's in your deployment zone, right? Just pure strings in your deployment zone. They just move 9 inches.
That's easy.
So so you're normally 24 inches away from the opponent's deployment zone.
Right.
So now you're just like 15. Whatever. Let's go ahead and move.
Right. Just move
Let's
9.
do it again,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
At my movement phase now.
Well, now you're 6 inches away. That's still not a super reliable charge if they deployed.
Would you spend a CP to auto advance 6?
Would I spend a CP?
Would you do
Are
that?
they able to advance and charge, John?
Only for free.
Only for free. So 1 CP, you go 24 inches.
Yeah.
And then charge.
Boom. And that's like a 10-point upgrade on a 10-man.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, your opponent can deploy all the way back, and then they can't be charged. Yeah.
Don't lie to me.
A 10-point upgrade made them deploy super bad.
Yeah.
So,
and that like compared to like Kraken Gene, maybe not Kraken, compared to like Leviathan Genestealers right now, they would move 16 plus 2d6, which is an average of like 23. So this is a unit that has the turn 1 same threat range as Leviathan Genestealers with the Swarm Lord, but this is without paying for the Swarm Lord.
Oh, you just pay 10 points.
Well, but you pay 10 points.
You pay 10 points.
And you got the 4-up invuln, the 2-up weapon skill, all the things.
All the things.
All the things that were good in the world.
And the thing is, they're cheap, so you can afford to just throw them away turn 1 charging something.
Yeah, they're not that expensive.
Yeah. And you
can even put other upgrades on them. Like, for example, you can put the +1 attack the first time they hit combat. I really like that on the second unit, because then 1 unit goes in, Might from Beyond, 50 attacks. Second unit goes in, well, it's the first time I'm in combat, 50 attacks. Okay,
all right.
Here's just 100 Genestealer attacks on someone
and who
wants it.
Give another unit the charge at 3d6, pick the 2 highest.
You could do that as well.
Yep.
You can get some real good combat units out of this.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, yes,
Pure
you can.
strains.
Real good.
Spicy.
All right.
Wow,
that codex has some good units in it.
There's like actually some good data sheets in here.
Like none of those were bad. They were all good.
Oh,
There's
wow.
like 12. There's like 12 data sheets.
And
in that
there's
codex.
there's a couple honorable mentions, mostly characters. I just didn't want to do all characters. The Nexos gets a real honorable mention because it extend command phase buffs from the Kelomorph, Primus, or the Alphas. The thing I almost put it on, and then I was like, instead of the Primus, I'm like, I can't put the Nexos in if I don't have any of those 3 characters.
Yeah,
So
the guy who relays buffs.
Yeah, like I gotta put the buffs in before the Nexus, but he also has a relic for CP regen. Super valuable. He's the only CP regen in this codex, and I'm gonna be honest, you got good strats.
Yes.
So it's okay.
And you only need 1 CP regen because you can't regen more than 1 CP anyway.
Exactly.
So, hey.
So super good value out of that. Then you've got the Icon Ward, who can give all core units within 6 inches the Summon the Cult rule to get some good bonuses out of it. I think just really good value to that. A lot of the support characters are actually very good. The Biophagus, there's plenty of great ones. I think the only data sheet in this book that I just really look at, and I'm just not feeling it, is the Kelomorph. I just don't see the value. He lets 1 unit shoot and action in the command phase, and they auto pass morale. But it's not they auto pass morale, they auto pass combat attrition, so they can only lose 1 guy in morale.
Which is
not that big deal because
anyway.
it literally only buffs neophytes. Because I guess you can, but it doesn't buff people in transports, and it doesn't buff people coming in from reserves.
And you already have a Patriarch to ignore the combat attrition modifiers. But even if you didn't have the Patriarch to ignore combat attrition modifiers, who cares? Leadership in also doesn't matter. It's
also cheaper to just take an Acolyte squad, 5-man Acolyte squad to go ahead and do the action in addition to whoever you wanted to action and shoot. So the Kelomorph is like a miss for me, but he's cheap and he's not terrible, and he has an Omni Scrambler. The Abominant is like, you're just too expensive and you don't do enough. Also, I just hate 3 attack characters. Like, let's just...
Yeah.
3 attack characters.
He's on 3s now, but it's no rerolls, right?
He can reroll 1 hit or wound because of his familiar. But, like, it's 3 attacks. I just can't get excited about it. I just want to have more.
Just can't.
But... Yeah, Aberrants feel they're a little.
I don't know.
They're not bad.
They weren't bad.
They're a lot tougher, and I think
they're so much tougher.
They didn't make my top 10, but I don't think that they're bad. They're 3 wounds, T5, -1 damage. You can give them a feel no pain without that much trouble. It's like, I don't know.
It's pretty good. And they are 30 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but. They're tough. They're just like nobody. You don't want to shoot at them.
No, certainly
because you need to shoot anti-infantry at them to be like efficient. And I don't know about like the data sheets in this codex are all infantry. So what am I? What am I shooting salvo launchers at aberrants now? No, thank you.
I don't want that either.
I don't even kill them on average. Is the crazy part. No. The salvo launcher shot goes through damage 5, goes to damage 4. Feel no pains takes it slightly under 2.
Yep. And also, you have to wound on a 3.
Yeah.
If I'm twisted. Well, anyway, because they're T5.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah. On average, it's 2 and change wounds.
Yeah.
Which means sometimes I kill a guy and
sometimes
I don't.
Super good value out of that. But yeah, I think that just about wraps us up for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, then maybe you consider joining our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, share, all of the good keywords that we like to say on YouTube. And check out our YouTube membership options. We have various tiers that include exclusive War Room content. You can get access to the full War Room, or you can get access to our podcast, or just a little sampler. For $5 a month, you get access to 1 exclusive War Room video a week, as well as all of our Art of War emotes.
Right.
I still like mine the most. And
I don't have one yet.
Oh, we need to get you one. We should talk to the machine about that.
We should talk to the machine.
Absolutely. And of course, check us out in the War Room. Coming up today, we do have several more videos. We've got Jack Harpster going on YouTube on the War Room later today to talk with Matt Morrisoli about the Adelaide Uprising, as well as a Meta Monday coming up. And we have 40K today coming up at 5 o'clock. That's going to be Mr. Scary and Brad Chester back here on YouTube. We've got tons of games coming up, both in the War Room and on Thursday. Tune back in. We've got Adam Camilleri versus Nick Nanavati, another YouTube game.
Should be fun.
Should be really fun. Thank you so much for checking us out, everyone. Hopefully you have a good day. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There's so many rules in 40K, hundreds of events, and constant updates. Skip the learning curve of Warhammer and join the pros. Art of War is led by multiple world champions with decades of success. We teach clinics, stream games, and inspire you to succeed at your favorite hobby. Join our global community of gamers just like you.